right, now it's time for everyone's favorite segment, the Meteorology Minute.
Great work. Okay, so I was thinking what we were going to do for a Meteorology Minute, and I'm like, looking up what's a fun weather fact that I can share, like however many cricket chirps you can use to predict whatever, thunder, rain, and all that sorts of stuff.
It's temperature, but close.
Yeah. I don't use cricket chirps to predict. So then I'm like, you know what? What's the history of like meteorologists? Because there's like
not a history lesson.
It's not. Listen.
It's a history lesson.
Did you know?
Guys, it's a history lesson.
Did you know that some of the first people predicting the weather were the Babylonians in 650 BC?
That's God's job.
They were using stars and cloud patterns.
Ooh.
So way back then. And then in 350 BC, Aristotle was describing weather patterns in texts. He had started writing about it, so it was starting to get some familiarity. But it really took off in the 19th century with the invention of the telegraph, so that they could actually like tell people what the weather was going to be, because they had all these like ships that kept sinking, or these ships would get caught in really bad situations with the weather, and they were like, oh, if only we knew when this was coming so we wouldn't get taken by surprise and our ships wouldn't go under. And so they got a little bit more serious about it, and that's when the word forecast came into being. So yeah, I just thought that was really interesting. Way back in 650 BC, people were curious about weather. But then the 19th century, that's when it really took off. And I'm sure somewhere in there is like where the Farmer's Almanac and all that.
Oh yeah, that's just a compilation.
Because obviously it started like
wives' tales.
The forecast came from obviously those like who navigated by ships, but also the farmers like needed to know when it was gonna rain and what droughts and all that sort of stuff. But
thank you for the wonderful history lesson.
You're so welcome.
I didn't pay attention to any of it.
Weather has a history.